Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk. The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Our viewers, good afternoon. My name is Norman Tumihimbise, and I happen to be today's host with Justice Kanyeihamba. And every when we are blessed to have him, we have him on special occasions. Like today, it's a special broadcast, definitely to hear from Justice Kanyeihamba, in particular about our 61 years of independence. And as we understand, the gentlemen and some ladies are very busy feasting, for lack of another word, in Germany, having fun, for lack of another word. And unless you have any other word that we could give for the team that is in Germany, they are celebrating on behalf of all of us and also you inclusive, 61 years of independence. Justice Kanyeihamba, say hello to our viewers and then we shall proceed.
Hello viewers, nice to see you again after some time. I'm very, very pleased to be with you once again. And secondly, I am also very grateful to our Lord, the Maker and the Son of God, Jesus Christ, our Savior and Redeemer, who has kept me going all this time. I must be one of the very oldest Ugandans still alive who was born before independence. And last birthday, I clocked 84 years old, which is quite rare in African terms. But I'm still going strong. Maybe I should put in a commercial now, with your permission, Norman, yes, that on the 31st of December this year, 31st, Namirembe Cathedral and the leaders of Uganda are honoring me by holding a Thanksgiving service at Namirembe Cathedral in honor of my longevity and also the services I have rendered to the world. and everyone is invited. We've already dispersed about 1,000 cards to all we hope will be able to attend, lawyers, judges, politicians, well-wishers, and the admirers of the Kanyeihamba character. So we hope they will come. The service at Namirembe starts at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 31st of December, and on demand, popular demand, everybody would like to come here. There will be refreshments and snacks and dinners in this garden. There will be tents and chairs around this residence, which, as you know, the Kabaka of Uganda has helped me to keep permanent Kanyeihamba Foundation. I am very grateful for Sawa Sajja. And we have invited, she's yet to respond, the chief guest on that day, on that service, and here will be none other than Princess Royal of Britain, Princess Anne, whom I am acquainted with for some time now. We have invited her to be the chief guest, and I hope other dignitaries, including ministries and their excellencies, will be able to meet her, Princess Anne of Britain, here on the 31st. We shall start with the service at Namirembe, and thereafter there will be some few speeches. The former Prime Minister, Ruhakana Rugunda, has agreed to be the chief host on that day. And so may God bless us all, and we bless that one. However, today I wish to wish every Ugandan and our visitors to Uganda a happy birthday, because Uganda was born on the 9th of October,
October 1916.
Today. And it happened coincidentally that my daughter Betty here, the youngest of my children, is her birthday today also.
Okay.
She was born on Independence Day. So there we are.
Okay, I think let's straight away go on to, if I'm not mistaken, and if my mathematics is right, you were 23 years when Uganda got independence. Where did the news find you in the first place?
You have calculated the mathematics, so I will not repeat them. On Independence Day, Uganda, when it was independent, I was a student in the UK and the leader of the East African Students Association. I therefore hosted Admiral of the fleet of British Army in London. And we were honored on that occasion by the late Princess, the sister of the Queen, Armstrong. She was then her married name, and she graced us with her late husband. I think he's late, because I think she married again. And that's how we came to be introduced to the royal family. And then when Anne came here the first time as a sports lady, she heard that there was a Ugandan married to an English lady. And she was curious. I think she said she would like to meet me. And they invited me to the High Commission here, where she was staying. And we sat together out to dinner. And she was first facilitated about what I knew and what I knew. And she made a promise which I thought was diplomatic, but she would never make it. She said, "Can you give me the telephone number of your wife in the UK and I may call her?" I gave her the phone. Then about 2 or 3 days after she returned to UK, I was really, really, very, very honored and privileged. My wife called me and said, Princess Anne had called her and greeted her, and they had a chat, and she also chatted my children, and that is the beginning of my acquaintance with Princess Anne. The story goes on, but she's one of the royal personages that I admire, her independent character and everything. And every Ugandan is waiting that she will grace the occasion of my celebrations at the age of 84. Her mom passed on a bit older, not very much older, and that is my reason for inviting her. The president and his office has been very busy. I had initially invited them to be the guests of honor, His Excellency and Mrs. Honorable Janet Museveni, but they have had no time even to respond to me. Then my own bosom friend, the Kabaka, would have loved to come, but you know, the end of the year is a very busy schedule for the Kabaka, so he was unable to come either. And the family fell on the name of Anne. He said, "You are acquainted to the Prince Royal. Why don't you, Kanyeihamba Foundation, invite her?" And that's where we are now.
Okay, I beg your pardon. The event, the celebrations are in Kitugum, and as far as the information is coming in, sorry for the previous miscommunication. The event, the celebrations of the independence are in Kitugum district. Now, there is something that bothers most the young people, that a day prior to today, that was yesterday, 8th October 1962, that Buganda got its independence. What, as a lawyer, what did that mean? Did it mean that Buganda wanted to be independent, independent of Uganda, or and let alone joined Uganda as a whole? What do you have to share with the younger people in particular? Because yesterday,
I think to be realistic,
yeah,
Uganda as a whole became independent on the 9th of October, which is today. But there are some Ugandans, some Baganda,
yes,
who felt that they ought to be independent, we should be a federation, and they declared themselves independent on the 8th.
Yesterday.
It is symbolic, but really not very significant. Many Baganda remember that date.
Yeah.
Some of them celebrated yesterday
Yeah,
as
they
their
did.
independence. but it is really only a historical event, and it has no political or constitutional significance in the current of Uganda.
Another one for you. Young people continue to be confused about the reason for which the British gave Uganda independence at midnight, and some people have made fun of it and like, why your friends, because you have been in UK for some good time, and that's where your dear wife also stays and the children. Where you people on behalf of the British, are they night dancers? Why could they have given Uganda independence at midnight? Some people have argued why
No.
Then they,
you say a day begins
at midnight.
Midnight. A new dawn dawns midnight.
12 a.m.
So it is a historical fact that many countries who got independent from. By the way, I heard the vice, the minister, a government minister of Uganda, say we were a colony. Why don't these people revise their history? Uganda has never been a colony. Thanks to the Kabakaship of Uganda. We have always been a protectorate. At the times we may have been governed as a colony, but we have never been officially or constitutionally a colony. Uganda has always been a protectorate. So the minister of the presidency, she's wrong to say we have been a colony. We have never been a colony.
Okay.
It is true that as a protected and as a possession of Britain, we belong to the colonies, the Department of Colonies. That was only a convenient way of describing dependent state. But Uganda has always been and will always be remembered as a protectorate, not a colonial possession.
Okay, our viewers, we are with Justice Kanyeihamba and trying to, of course, make sense of the 61 years of independence. As per the calculations I have, he was 23 years old by 1962. Not most likely, but likely, he was following the sequences of events as they unfolded then. So you are in UK, the news finds you there, you were leading East African, you were a leader of East African Students Association in the UK. How was the situation like in the UK itself? Were the British happy that some of the African countries were getting independence, or they were reserved to have comments?
Constitutional elements in the UK, particularly those who loved the British Empire, were not happy. But the majority of the British people were very happy that the Africans retained the right of self-determination, and countries like Uganda, Tanzania, which had been an international mandated territory, became independent, and the Africans could exercise the right of self-determination. They were happy, the majority. Okay. Otherwise, they wouldn't have granted us independence. It's true we fought for it, in the sense we debated about it, we held conferences about it, but it was a willing British population that granted us independence, and we didn't fight like a colony.
Okay, Justice Kanyeihamba, there are some theorists who say that some of the problems Uganda is facing now are attributed to were either unpreparedness and of unpreparedness in 1962. Are there some mistakes you think could have been avoided that you people then committed and therefore have continued to haunt us in as far as political, social, and economic development is concerned in this country?
I don't think we were premature in gaining independence or wanting it at the time. In my opinion, we got it at the right time and the right conditions were there. And therefore, I don't agree with you that we got independence prematurely. No, that is not correct. However, as the new things happen, occur, there were many things we didn't anticipate. And one of them was that we did not anticipate that independent Uganda would be the same like a new dawn of independence. There were teething problems which we faced and we are still facing. But no patriot Ugandan can ever regret that we got the independence prematurely. No, we got it at the right time.
Another question from amongst your followers. Would you rather consider it right for the Kabaka then to have involved himself in partisan, for lack of another word, partisan politics, Mutesa I, as in particular as the first president of the Republic of Uganda before the amendment of that constitution?
The temptation is there for some people to think back and say, we wish the Kabaka had remained the head of state hereditary. But I think that is again another historical factor which we have just to overcome. I don't think it will happen. The way politics has developed in Uganda is such that I think we shall remain a sovereign state with the Kabaka as the sovereign head of the central kingdom, Buganda, and the other traditional and other traditional rulers and the king governing places like Busoga, Toro, Bunyoro, and other traditions. That is a historical factor which I think will be difficult to reverse as I speak now. One thing which is very, very, very burning among the people of Uganda and other monarchies is federation. I think sooner or later the question of federation of Uganda will arise again, and we may have to consider revising our constitution and making it a federation. We have attempted unilateralism, we have attempted democracy, we have tested regionalism. They have all failed. And the one certainty we have not tried is the federation. And I think sooner or later that will come along and we shall try it again.
Okay, thank you. Are there specific mistakes you think that people who attained independence at the time committed that could have been avoided?
Things they committed to which could be been avoided.
Yeah. People who fought for the likes of Obote,
the way we evolved as a nation, the way we obtained independence, I cannot think of anything which would have helped us to avoid all the problems we have passed through. I remember the late Grace Binjira making a speech, I think, in the parliament, and saying, we are neither a monarchy, nor are we a pure Republican, but we are in between. His historical speech still remains resounding in the historical memories of many Ugandans. That's how we were when the British discovered us. We were a very good protectorate. We were not a monarchist, but we had Republicans like Kigezi, and we had the traditions like Busoga. So we were born, and we are still a mixture of all traditions.
Okay. I have a quick one for you also. You know, on our flag, we have that crested crane, which is symbolic of moving forward. In your view, do you think Uganda as a country is moving forward?
The what?
On our flag, we have
Yes.
that bird, the crested crane,
Yes.
standing on one leg, the
Yes.
other one, symbolic of moving forward.
The crane is a
So-
very beautiful bird.
You think Uganda is moving forward?
Peaceful. It's not a prey
But
bird that eats other animals. And in Uganda, we are symbolic. And it is a historical creature which we love. And therefore, we are a peaceful country. We have problems. We thought we would inherit democracy. We have failed to achieve that objective. As I speak now, all the parties are factional, fighting one another. The NRM, you have it trying to swallow DP. The leader of DP is now a cabinet minister responsible for legal reform and the constitutional advancement. Nobody Mao. The NRM is a factional party with the president and MK fighting one another for the leadership in 2026. And Nupe seem to be very popular on the ground by taking the fact that the NRM seems to be very scared of Nupe, and hence recent arrests and detentions of some of its leaders. So, on that basis, Museveni, whom I have advised to retire in 2026, seems to hang on power, and he has no intention, presumably, of relinquishing office. So that's where we are. The main opposition party of FDC is disintegrating in front of us. Chiza Besigye, Amuriat, Lukwago don't see eye to eye. So it seems that Grace Vinjira's prediction that we are neither a democracy nor a monarchy.
we're in between.
Yes, we are in between.
Such mistakes that lead to the the conflicts in political parties, in your view, how could they have been avoided? Especially if we talk about FDC in particular, so that perhaps NUP can learn from them. Do you think there is a way such conflicts
We
can
can
be?
only be clever in hindsight. But it seemed to me that it was inevitable that these things would happen at the year. You see, we are basically a tribal society. That is a part of our problem and a part of our advantage. We are united in diversity and divided in politics and tribalism. And if you look at the current situation, those who support the NRM, President Museveni was saying, don't be tribal. You cannot ask people not to be tribal unless they are.
Yeah.
So his main support has been based on our people of the West, Ugandan. Then the Buganda people have been based on federalism, which is very popular in the Buganda region, where I now belong. On the 31st of December, when we finish our ceremony at Namirembe Cathedral, by popular demand, everybody will come here. We are going to have tents here, to have dignitaries, celebrate my peace of life here at this residence. At the same time, if you see how things are developing, there is a northern Uganda hemorrhage, which is emerging under the leadership of Mao, maybe with alliance with Museveni, which cannot be ignored. Then if you look at the rest,
Eastern Bloc now.
Eastern Bloc, I think with Amriat
And Mafai.
is coming out with Mafabi. So this kind of phenomenon of look for your deep waters where you belong to has remained on the surface again and again and again, despite theories to the contrary by bandits and the politicians.
How best can that be solved so that we can have a unitary republic rather than being in the
I
middle?
don't think a unitary republic is possible now. What we have now is the alternative of a federation. That the Acholi, the Bachiga, the Langi, all working to one thing. I was very pleased this morning to listen to some of the commentaries in this country. That whatever else we are dreaming, whatever else we are doing, the word Ugandan seems to have taken root, and we all think we are Ugandans. It's a comforting thought that after trial and error and all these lengths of time, we seem to think as Ugandans first and organize ourselves on tribal ethnic groups later. To me, that is the fundamental change that we have had since Uganda became independent. That the younger people especially, when you listen to the programs and commentaries, people think as Ugandans. They are not organized as Ugandans. They are not running political parties as Ugandans, but they seem to think like Ugandans. And this seems to be a sobering point, in my opinion. And so I can predict at the age of 84, which I was last month, or rather 2 months ago, that we are beginning to see the roots of nationhood. We are approaching the position of Tanzania. And I think for that, we are much more advanced than even Kenya, who still think in tribal terms, much more than we do.
Okay.
That is the message of hope that I have for the younger Ugandan.
Okay. Viewers, we are with Justice Kanyeihamba. We have these few remaining minutes that we will, of course, spend on asking him some of other concerns. And I want to ask you, as far as I understand, today the Uganda government is going to reward or award 41 citizens with independence medals. Have you received any national medal in appreciation of what you have done for this country?
No, I have never received a national medal other than one from Kadaga, the former Speaker of Parliament. She gave me a medal for being one of the legislatures of our country.
In her capacity as a speaker
As
at that time?
as Speaker of Parliament. But my nephew is called Kagonyera.
Mondo.
He was on the Honors Research Committee. I'm told they discussed me to be awarded the national award for the contribution I've made to this country. But I hope they will talk about it on the 31st of December.
Do you ever have any thoughts, let me use the word negative, do you ever have negative thoughts towards those that give awards in regards to you not having been appreciated? Like, do you ever think you haven't been appreciated enough?
How can I know what you mean. Let me describe it. I would have loved to have an honor in that sense. But like the Muchiga said, he wanted to go and have water to wash himself. And the water refused. So he said it doesn't matter. I was not dirty in
any case.
In any case, I don't need it.
Which, no, you go native, it's fine, go native. In your language, how is that explained? Amizi kugagira ngo tanaba na shangwa tinezero.
Omusheja kajati na ninyi ndakunaba. Amezi gaje ngo tindi huti. Tindi kozo. Lero omusheja ajati nabantini na ninsiru.
Those of you, I mean, you will have at least heard before you could go native that, of course, where a certain person had wanted to take shower and then the water was like, I am not available. So the very person said, in any case, I wasn't even dirty. So you can, you can choose otherwise.
That's right.
Justice Kanyeihamba, I will ask you to, I think, to use like 2 or so minutes to give your closing remarks, in particular calling upon, I mean, any message you have for the citizens, those that are celebrating the independence, those that think have been deserted, and of course those that are fighting to ensure that they either save themselves from the present situations. So some message for the whole country, regardless of who belongs where.
When you alerted me to this discussion this afternoon, I remembered that we've been trying everything possible. All the leaders have tried. President Museveni, President Obote, President Idi Amin. they were all trying their best. It's no good now sitting in judgment and saying, Obote went wrong here, Museveni has got wrong there. So I think my time, and I hope we shall use the occasion of my celebrations and everybody's celebrations to reconcile, to say instead of hatred, can we preach love? Instead of tearing each other, calling each other enemies, can we become Ugandans true and fair? Give every man his due, said Jesus. Can we do that in next round? And if we do, which I hope we shall, that is the beginning of nation building. We have already started it, and I hope we shall continue with it. So that in my lifetime, which is not very long left, we shall hear Ugandans say, we love one another, we reconcile, we forgive one another. You remember one of our famous Bishop Chivenjiri, Festo Chivenjiri. He wrote a little monograph about the love he had. And he said, I love Idi Amin. Can we learn to say, I love every other Ugandan? We don't call our brothers and sisters enemies, but the people we love. That is how I want to end my life.
Okay.
Trying to be a reconciler, hoping to reconcile people, and impart love among them. It seems to me that that is more important than this negative way of disrespecting one another instead of loving one another. That is how I like my life to be. I hope those who are preparing the speeches on the 31st of December this year will emphasize two words: love and reconciliation among all Ugandans. That is my hope.
Okay.
Meaning, I don't know where I'm going. Every Ugandan political party is not only divided with the other one, but is divided against each self, including the ruling party. The NRM has not delivered the goods it promised to deliver. And therefore, the only two things that are left for us is love and reconciliation. All the other assets have gone by the window. When you look at our newspapers, I was listening to the the minister for the presidency, who should know better. But she was saying, during the colonial time, she's never understood our history. She's never read it. Uganda has always been a protectorate in colonial times.
Okay.
So what am I saying? Let me tell you the saddest thing of them all. I have...
In 1 minute, sir, as we close.
1 minute. We must learn how to read and respond. I have written to many people other than a few, they don't respond to my letter. Why can't people be themselves and say, let me answer this letter written by Kanyeihamba? He is making a point, or he's making a fool of himself. Let me advise him. They don't. I have written hundreds of letters, no response. So I am asking the Ugandan in the new era, respond to each other's queries, answer queries of the public, respond to queries by citizens. I thank you, and I wish everybody happy Christmas.
Independence.
Independence Day, and I hope everybody will enjoy them. We're having a party here for my daughter, youngest daughter, and I'm sure the friends who are coming to see her will enjoy themselves. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Once again, our viewers, my name is Kanyeihamba. We have been with Justice Kanyeihamba, of course, trying to make sense of the 61 years of Uganda's independence, whose celebrations are in Kitugum as we speak. I am sure the president will be there and the rest of the leaders of NRM and the entire government. We wish all of you people a blessed day, but also to remind you that today at 7 p.m. we are having Honorable Mokapu Lubega alongside Mr. Joseph Ochieno in the hotline show at 7 p.m. Do not miss. Keep this discussion moving forward, and of course, preach peace and love, reconciliation, as per Justice Kanyehamba's recommendations. No man.
The alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.